Imagine this, we're cruising down the memory lane, leather seats hiding our excitement, and the scent of nostalgia in the air. Welcome to our channel, where rare cars are our compass, and every gear shift feels like a secret handshake with history. But here's the twist, we need your component skills, because my fellow enthusiasts, 90% of our viewers are still lurking in the shadows, like undercover car spies. So pals, drop your intel in the comments. Which industry gem should we dissect next? Spread the word, share it with your dear head buddies, and hit the subscribe button like it owns your vintage life. Is great. I caught myself thinking that every time I find a car on my own or with your help, my subscribers, I feel like a kid again. In the childhood and youth, I saw them more often on photos than in shows. But in this case, both there and there. It was 2002, the International Moscow Motor Show on Krasny Presny Street. It stood there in the dark color. That year were many interesting and absurd projects presented. For example, the Nishka, the special something with AK joints or dozen with shady new headlights. Almost all publications wrote about it, including Zarulion magazine and after a few newspaper, but only got to touch it personally over 20 years later. And yet, it doesn't look very presentable, but it's got everything ahead on. The car will go through the cycle of regenerating procedures, gain agility and loss, but it's originally will fade, so don't judge too harshly, and besides, it's an H+. Adding 15 extra horsepower, you can feel it. Accelerating probably lighter, but otherwise it's like huge boulder rolling uphill with a hole. Creating a proper car with joints and aggregates, essentially the best all-wheel drive domestic truck, was probably the dream of many, but some managed to do it, and essentially create a small-scale car, only the creator of BARKHAN. BARKHAN can be said to be the first of its kind. The idea belongs to a retro-style workshop founded by Valery Dmitryevich Bardashev at the end of the last millennium in Kyrgyzstan. Many talented people work on various projects in this workshop. At the beginning of 2000s, when they started creating the car, clear mandatory requirements were established, namely unification of joints and aggregates of the new car with already mass-produced models. Why? Well, first, to increase repairability, and second, to reduce cost, both the planned and much needed ongoing technical maintenance. The base for the new car was taken from something very old but great, the GAZ-66 from 1985 AD. By base, I mean it's 100% Shishiga in a different guise, seasoned with a touch of creative approach and the fate of the collective in the bright future. The starter's tradition dictates with the frame. By the way, the creator happened to come across not a military vehicle but agricultural one. It's iron, and it's probably all worth thinking about it. It rests on the springs and axles. If you forgot, let me remind you, or if you don't know, listen up, the front and rear springs are the same. This is serious plus an operating. The bodies of axle are stamped, the reducer are the same. The front one might have different swivel arms, stop axle and little secret. Well, talk about it later. Right now, behold, there are disc brakes all around, 2 calipers per wheel at the front and 1 at the back. Now the cabin and body. Firstly, it's metal. Secondary, as you understood, these are two cabins from the GAZ-66 standing back to back, if I'm not mistaken. In general, they cut three cabins, but its stampings, the gaps, how everything fits together, the integrity of the imaging. By the looks of it, it's a factory-made car, but no. The factory panels also played in the hands of the creators of BARKHAN, but simply welding metal is only half a job. There's to be welded correctly, beautiful and reliable. So each detail was fitted on the stock and then welded and painted. Variation of the bodies could be countless, according to the customer desires, whether a cabriolet or classic pickup truck. The trunk. Spare tire, mechanism naturally Shishige style, a ladder with a jerry can holder, by the way, from wheelless. Do you understand how huge is it? The car is 2 meters wide, 220 in the length. It's unrealistically enormous. But the most important thing is the flat floor, absolutely, from the stern to the front tube. Well, probably to support the back seats, the huge roof from rattling, but that's not certain. Ventilation is presented, and you can see it here quite calmly. 6 people can fit. BARKHAN could be a 7-seater or even 12-seater car. The trunk is separate cabin with its door and seats. If you remove all these seats, their area of the flat floor will be 3000 by 2000 by 2000 to 140 millimeters. Plan as you like. Now, the rear sofa. Oh, wow! It easily fits 4 people. The sofa has its own style. Russian luxury made from everything and sticks. But what more could you want? This car shows the idea and a concept. If you're traveling here together, you won't even rub your knees until the end of the trip. By the way, unfortunately, the hatch does not open, but it's made so that you can stand up, strain, and shoot on video camera, for example. The finish is simple, but in the spirit of the time. Pleather of a foam, pleather of a hardboard, and pleather for the heart and memory. The front seats are from Mercedes, but reupholstered in the native leather red. Yes, the hood looks like the Hummer one. Well, what do you expect? And by the way, it's iron. Opening mechanism is heavy from the Shishige cabin. The convenience of such a hood is access to all joints and aggregates. And knowing the reliability of Shishige, it's simply necessary. But everything is done correctly. Oh, and by the way, the air intaker is from Mercedes, specially made alloy. ZMZ513 from the GAZ-66. No, it was replaced with ZMZ41 from the APC. The car made its way in the Moscow-Vladivostok rally and showed itself very worthy. By the way, theoretically, you can stick there any engine here, even some foreign Chinese one. It also a V8 petrol, but with a displacement for over 5,300 cubic centimeters. It produced 140 horsepower at 3,000 RPM with a maximum torque for 352 at 2,000 RPM. The engine is made from an aluminum alloy since it's a V engine. Interesting that unofficially BARKHAN competed with the Gorky Tiger and suppressed it in many respects. But the main thing is the cost. BARKHAN in the base cost $35,000, with the Tiger went far beyond 100. To cross BARKHAN, you need skill, heading, training. And I'm constantly amazed by the weight of the cabin. Two serious bodies can easily sit side by side, and each body has its own handle of fear. The interior finish, for a moment, the light of all doors, power windows, central locking. Through it's a pity the power windows don't work. The steering wheels from Mercedes. The number of light switches is off the chart. There used to be a chandelier on the top. Well, now there is chandelier on the bumper. There were chandeliers, a tape record with the pocket, and every respectable Russian motorist will find something.
Когда мне нужно найти машину, я просто пользуюсь функцией дром-подписка и жду, когда мне выпадет интересный вариант. А еще я смотрю от собственника объявление, чтобы поговорить с тем, кто владел авто, а не тем, кто хочет его быстрее спихнуть. Вот. На Дроме огромный выбор и самый подробный отчет об истории авто. Дром спасает от покупки неликвидных авто. Поэтому рекомендую тебе прямо сейчас за машиной иди на Дром. Ссылку я оставлю в закрепленном комментарии.
The seat with the lumbar support was freshly installed for the Moscow-Vladivostok rally. Let's get dangerous! It's not easy to get it moving, as if you're pushing the rock off the road. In terms of visual lightness, the weight of BARKHAN Shishiga is approximately the same, about 3.5 tons. But we're not talking about that. The first gear is for cows, but BARKHAN doesn't mind to accommodate him. I don't like it. Besides, I know what the car is capable of. The transfer case lever cannot lock for front axle, and here's the same differential of the front and rear axle. If the wheels start to slip, the mechanical self-lock kicks in, and all skids start scraping vigorously. Among other things, BARKHAN inherited a ground clearance of 260 mm under reducer. The wheels of BARKHAN were originally taken from agricultural machinery. Now the tires are more fashionable. Power steering is a luxury, but in such luxury you have to press the clutch twice. The gearbox here is from a distant past, 4 gears. The 5th gear is needed. Remember how the Shishiga had a shoulder-mounted lever. Here they come with a mechanism go through half the cabin. Where's the 4th gear? It's like sitting in Zhiguli with knees spread out on a level floor, but overall they're not bad. The height is like the Gazelle. The pedals, it's so hard to press them, and I'm already sweating even though the heater does not work. And it's not playing around, it's a real deal. The fuel consumption is within the norms of the issues for the USSR military equipment. If it drank 20 liters, then everything is very good and the road was smooth. The fuel reserve is located in two separate tanks, each 120 liters under the bottom of the car. It's made of stainless steel. The maximum speed is also set, 90 kilometers per hour. But there are 4 windows here. By the way, the creators of the Shishika wanted to install panoramic glass on the car. But comrades in shoulders abroad were against it, saying it would be easier to fix it in pieces if anything happened. And yes, the Air-style company ceased to exist in 2004. Jumping! In a word, BARKHAN inherited all advantages of the GAZ-66 and multiplied them, but the downsides remain the weakness of the frame in diagonal torsion, the stiffness and condension of the dependent leaf springs suspension, the set gearbox, and the unreliable power steering that constantly wants to die. BARKHAN great as an idea. BARKHAN became the first such car in the westerness of the former USSR, but the state didn't like it, so BARKHAN remained the bright dream of its creators. Remember, we're not just a channel, we're a car-loving family hurtling through the YouTube universe. Don't forget to hit that sub button and ring the bell, but we are continuing.